So,
these
yeah,
are the hands we
the audio's connected. What's up, dude?
I always feel you're surprised when I call you. Like you don't know it's going to be me.
Well-
but then you see my name and you still sound surprised.
I'm more surprised. I'm actually just not surprised as what's going on, just because like everything was ready to rock, and then the Bluetooth disconnected from the phone. Do you know? And I'm like, what the hell's happened?
That happened yesterday as well.
Yeah. Do you know the way like when we chat sometimes in the car? My phone just
Not
disconnects.
together in the car, by the way.
No, remotely via the phone call. My phone just disconnects, and then we worked out it was the phone trying to reconnect to the car Bluetooth
To everything
doing
else.
the same
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
with the MacBook. So
Yeah, I don't have my these headphones connected to my MacBook for that very reason. In fact, Yasmin had exactly the same trouble with her Bluetooth headphones today.
yeah,
She doesn't have these ones. She has like a not as good a pair.
wow.
Jesus. Anyway, don't connect Bluetooth to more than one thing at a time.
Yeah,
That's
and-
the lesson here.
Yeah, the problem is these are incredible headphones, but they're inconsistent because sometimes I can use both simultaneously, and then other times they just connect and disconnect from the other one, and never know what's going on. But there you go. I mean, I have to have them wired in anyway to the speakers whenever I'm editing because of the lag,
There's a lag.
all that jazz.
Yeah, all that jazz. Anyway, welcome. It's day 29, episode 29
Episode 29.
of the Over and Out show.
Yeah, show. Yeah, exactly.
Show.
In a better mood
It's a
today.
show.
I'm in a better mood today as well. So,
Oh, are you?
yeah, yesterday.
I did one of my well, I was meant to do one of your favorite things to do
Go to the shops today.
today. No, I was meant to get my car MOT'd
Oh, right.
because my MOT runs out relatively soon, and I was like, well, I have to, if I've got to go and see my granddad, or I need to have the car running, right?
Yeah.
So I booked it in. First off, last week I booked it in for Monday, and I didn't think anything of it. It was a bank holiday, apparently. Then they phoned me up and said, oh, you can't have that day. And I said, but I booked it in online. And they said, yeah, I don't know why that happened. You can't have it. So anyway, I booked it in for today at 3:15.
Yeah.
And then they called me today and said, the MOT machine is broken.
Fucking hell. What is this? McDonald's with the ice cream machine? They switched it
Well,
off
this is
early
what
to
I
go
was
home, haven't they?
wondering. I don't know. And he said that, it's broken and I'm trying to get a part for the MOT machine on the other line. And so he's having a conversation with me, and I think he said Pedro.
I love
the
that
other
you're
line.
part of that conversation as well. Like,
I
I
know,
don't need to
and
be part of this at all.
No, and he was trying to do both of us. Oh, that sounded wrong. He was on the phone to both of us at the same time. And so now it's been moved to Friday. But I never knew. What I learned today was that there was a machine to do MOTs, because if that's the case, then I should buy one on eBay and then make a YouTube video about how to do your own MOT.
Just start charging for it. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's certain tests. See, what's funny here is the MOT is very different where you are to where I am. Because actually here, do you know what?
Yeah.
This'll lead perfectly into today's topic. MOT here is really different because there's dedicated MOT center. You could just go to any garage, can't you? Well, within reason. Most
pretty much.
garages like mechanic garages, you can just book in and go. They run through a test, they fix it, they pass it for you effectively. Yeah.
They then upsell you a whole set of new tires, like they did last time
That's
for me.
standard down any tire place, isn't it? You go in for tires, they tell you need all these new things.
Yeah,
Which I always go, I'm actually going there to get that sorted next. So if you could just pop those tires. One day the guy wouldn't let me leave until I got someone else. He's like, I can't let you leave here. This is illegal. I was like, all right, well. But here you have to book it in, and all MOT here, as far as I know, has been cancelled. Or has been like postponed until further.
Oh, okay.
Until because we have MOT centers, which is basically a big like factory thing. You drive up to this like 10 lanes. You book you book your MOT like 2 months in advance. And then you drive up, you sit in a queue, you wait for your turn into lane, whatever you are, then you drive in, and then you go through this rigmarole where you have to drive through this, like, these stages where they check your car and tell you how fucked it is, effectively. And it's possibly it's me. If you want to see me at my nicest, in fact, any of the guys that work in the MOT center, they get my best self, because I roll in like, all right, guys, what's happening? And they're like, all right, and I'm like, oh, what a day it is, huh? And then that's where all my small talk comes out, and I ask them questions like, oh, what's that for? And then they go, oh, that's just for checking the, I don't know, rebound on your shocks or whatever the hell it is, how your shock absorbs. I'm like, oh, that's mad. What are those numbers? I couldn't give a shit, but I'm just like the politest guy, because I'm just like, please pass my car so I can just go. And they're all pretty solid about it, because they must deal with a lot of bellheads. But but the whole process of MOT here is painful, because you have to book this. And you know, I procrastinate. I get the letter in the post that goes, your car is due for MOT in 3 months' time. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I wish they would just send me the date that I have to go. Yeah. But instead, I have to take that piece of printed paper, go to my computer, sit down, log into the MOT thing, and then go and find the closest MOT center, find the day, click the day, find the date, and then go book. And then get my wallet out and then pay it online. All that bullshit. Yeah. You know that? Yeah. So I just procrastinate on that until like weeks, like a few weeks before. And then I'm like, fuck, MOT. Then I'm on there. I managed to always book it like 3 weeks before my MOT, and in fact one time I booked it a week before and it was fine. Whereas my dad's like, as that letter comes in, he gets that shit done.
Oh, because I tried to do it early once, and they said, you do know you don't have to do this for like another 2 months. Because you know me, I like being early and just getting stuff done. Yeah. And so this time, I think it's actually due on the 17th. Oh, right. So, but the thing is, at this point, it's like, well, you know, what are you going to do?
I book mine normally for the day it expires.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't, because apparently the MOT machine's broken.
Well, there you go. So if you're going to
maybe I can buy one on eBay.
Machine in Chiswick.
Yeah. Well, this is it, because I have a Fiat, and I bought the car off Yasmin's dad, who moved to Italy, and he was like, I don't need the car, do you want to buy it off me? And I said, yeah, fine, whatever, because I didn't have a car at the time. Mm-hmm. So he always kept it up to date, and he insisted on taking the Fiat to the Fiat dealer to have it MOT'd.
Old school.
The Fiat dealer for me is literally about 40 squids. 40 miles away. No, 40 minutes away.
Yeah, not squids.
And I'm like, nah, can't be. I don't know where squids came up. I'm like, I can't be bothered with that. And I did it once. And they said, oh, bring it at 8 in the morning and we'll do it. It should be a couple of hours. I had to fucking wait in whatever the shitty little town it was, wherever the fuck this place was, for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
God, I drank so much coffee at the local Costa there, walked around in the rain, listened to God knows endless podcasts on
working overtime.
Yeah, absolutely shitting myself everywhere. And it was a horrible experience. And I kept on phoning saying, is it done yet? Oh yeah, we're just getting round to it. And I thought, you know what, fuck this. So this time I just went to the Quick Fit in Chiswick, which is literally a few miles down, not even a mile, like 20-minute walk down the road from me. So I can just go there, drive there, drop it off, walk home, and they'll go, we'll call you when it's ready. I said, look, you know what? You can have it overnight. Couldn't give a fuck. I'll come and get it tomorrow.
Dude, I'm with you on that. So with you there.
And it's like, because I don't really need it. And then, so I did that, and Yasmin's dad was like, oh, you know, but you have to take it to the Fiat dealer. I was like, no, A, they were fucking rude. B, they were fucking overpriced. And C, they made me wait for 8 fucking hours. I go to Quick Fit, they're like, sure, we can do that. Oh, actually, you know, your tyres are a bit like this, so, you know, you might want to do this. And they showed me what was wrong with it, and I thought, actually, fair play. I've had this car for 5 years, never changed the tyres on it. God knows how long it's been since the tyres changed. Had them done anyway. They were super nice about it. They gave me a deal, apparently.
And a discount code.
A discount code.
Quick Ryan.
And, with their affiliate link. That was it. And it was an amazing experience. They just got shit done. They kept it overnight, said, look, it's a bit... Because I always go for the later in the afternoon because it's cheaper. Because I don't care if I get the car back that day or not.
Yeah.
I just like to be told. Like, if you're going to repair my car, you say it's going to take a few hours. I'm like, great, it's 12 o'clock now. What is a few hours? Because a few hours for me is 3.
Yeah.
You know,
3 is a few.
And so can I come back at 3?
Yeah.
And they'll go, yeah, it should be fine by then. It's like, so can I actually come back at 3? I will let you know. And then they phone me at 3:15 to go, it'll be another hour. And I'm like, you know what? You can fuck off and die.
Yeah,
that's what the Fiat people did for me. The quick fit people just kept it overnight, and I picked up in the morning.
Fiat.
I can't be fucked with that.
Sort yourselves out,
Can't
Fiat.
be fucked with that.
But you're right, because I've got guys. There's a tire place I go to here, and I just always go there, and they're just
Isn't
the
that
dudes.
the best? Isn't that the best tire place in Belfast?
No, fucks. No, not that place. No, man. A place around the corner from my house in Bangor. And it's just like, I just
Where do you go there when you work right next to the best tyre place in Belfast?
For reference, folks, there's a shop below my studio in Belfast, already. And it says, they have their, like, the best tyre shop in Belfast. And I was like, do you reckon that's true? And now this dick winds me up about it. Because he's like, you're just because they've stuck a sign up saying best tires in Belfast, fact, must be a fact. But those guys will do this thing where, like, they're really quick with it, and I just drop the car off for them, and I go, here, I'll just collect it at 5, because one day they went, that's gonna take an hour, and I was like, that's sick, no worries, I'll just go home because I can walk home in 15 minutes. And then I got home and they phoned me going, that's done, and I'm like, don't give a fuck, I'll come back at 5 and collect it. So it's the same. It's the what do they say, the path of least resistance. So it's just if I just drop it off and know that I don't have my car for the day and go home, then I'll just collect it at 5 regardless. But they always ring with something, you know. Hi, Dylan. We're looking at your Kia. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what? Just get to the point. What are you trying to upsell? And they go, open the bonnet up. There's no fucking engine in there, dude. You're going to need a new engine. And I go, pop it in. Just stick it in. And fucking, oh, Jesus.
And we've looked on the back seat and there's human shit.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
You're like, how's that happen?
Do you want us to clean that off?
Yeah, if you could, just
put new seats in.
Wash it. They used to do the thing with the wheel balance and wheel alignment. And they go, get new tires, and they go, do you want us to check the wheel? Now, if it needs done, I just say to them, I just bring in, I'm like, 2 rear tires, and they go, right. And before they even say it, I just go, if it needs wheel alignment and it needs wheel balance done, just do it. I don't care. Just don't phone me and ask me if it needs done. Just fucking do it. Oh. And for years I thought, they probably just fucking thought, mug, just do it anyway. And then the last time I took the van in, got 2 wheel, the car took 2 wheels in, the guys like, I did the normal thing, came back and they went, good news is, didn't need the wheel alignment done, so we didn't charge you. And I thought, legends. Thanks, lads. But
brilliant.
That is going to segue us onto this, the notes that I wrote down yesterday before we all had a nervous
you
breakdown.
got notes. You got notes coming out.
Okay, so I read this. Did you read the article?
Yeah.
Okay, so I read this article yesterday that my sister sent me. Right? I know.
Typical millennial.
Classic.
Or is she the one below that?
Well, she's on the brink. It's called How Millennials Became the Burnout Generation. Right? It's by a girl called Anne Peterson. And basically, what appealed to me about it was this concept of errand paralysis. All right? So, in a nutshell, I'll link the article below. Definitely go have a read of it. But I just thought we could talk about this because this is something that I feel we've discussed a lot without even realizing that it all falls under this. So this idea that Generation X and baby boomers and all that, they effectively set everything up for us. And then our parents were part of the generation where They were coming out of all the bullshit from the boomer generation and the wars and all that stuff, and then suddenly jobs were lucrative. Everyone was able to get good jobs and start to explore this whole concept of professional careers and things like that. They were able to save money. They were able to purchase property quite early on, get themselves into a position for the most part that that they're okay. So then they were like in Generation X. This will be our parents. They all in their minds they're like, here, millennials, fucking world is literally your oyster. It's all set up. Our parents dealt with all that bullshit. We fucking built the foundations for it. There you go. Don't fuck it up. But with that, they put a load of... By the way, I'm paraphrasing here. She never said any of this. But this is my interpretation. And basically it was like, with all this came all this pressure on us to achieve as a whole generation, to go to school, high achieve, leave school, go to college, go to university, study, get a profession, nail the profession, do that for the rest of your life, make money, buy property, invest, all this, and everything was very competitive. So like the interesting bit for me was it says about like kick the can, like my dad's generation. I mean, I don't know, rolled tires down streets, kicked cans, made like catapults and threw skimmed stones and stuff. Where our generation, everything became competitive and pressurized. So it's like, what are you doing? I'm skimming stones. Right, there's a stone skimming club around the corner. Let's get you signed up. Come on, fella, take it down. Bend that fucking elbow. Go. You know?
Yeah.
And basically, what it's done is it's created a generation of people that are that always feel like they have to be working hard. So we're not happy unless we're working hard, and if we're working hard, we're happy because we're achieving things, but not necessarily because we're happy. We're happy with ticking things off a list, and it's made us create this world where everything has to be efficient. We have to, how much can we do? How much can we be doing? What else can I do? What more can I be doing? And it's fucked us with simple shit like errands. So because something like going to the post office, depositing a check, booking your MOT, filling in a form and sending it back, queuing, all these things that we cannot make more efficient because that's just the process.
Okay. So, where do you start with?
Do you know what I mean? Like, you always talk about the post office, and you have how you get there.
The reason the post office is shit, is because the generations. Actually, I'd say the post office system was built by probably the boomers.
Yeah.
Forget Generation X. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem is let's bring the boomers in as well. Is that they've created a world for us, but it's got to a point where they've like, everything is here, and I'm putting a limiter up, if you can see that.
Okay.
It's got to here, and then our generation has gone, great, this is all awesome. Now, how do we make this better? But we're not allowed to, because this is the way things are.
Yeah.
And there is no room for us to change that yet, which could lead us on to why coronavirus is around. But anyway, so there's a point, like for the post office, like you don't need to do any of this shit. Like now, actually, they've started this thing, and I don't know if you've ever used it, it's called click and drop. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which means you can weigh your parcel at home. You can then like go, what measurement is it? You then enter these measurements and weight online. It'll go, yep, that's it. Where's it going to? Do you want it recorded? Blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, that'll cost you X. You then print it out, this thing, with a barcode, and then you stick it onto your parcel. Then all you need to do is go down to the post office and supposedly you just leave it there, and that's it. Every fucking time I go in there, they're like, you can't put that there. I'm like, it says click and drop. I've just clicked and now I'm dropping.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And she's like, oh, it doesn't work that way. And I'm like, listen, boomer.
Yeah.
The internet,
Probably
Royal
Generation
Mail
X.
has provided this service for me, and I am clicking, I am dropping.
Yeah.
And it says on that sign above, you can't click and drop. Yeah, but you have to stand in the queue so I can beep it. And I'm like, I thought the whole fucking point was for me to click and drop.
Yeah.
Not to click, then stand in a queue for you then to beep. It's click and drop, not click, queue, beep and drop.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, at no point. If there was Q in the title, I'd have not done any of this.
Yeah. No, and so now my worry is that because now I just fucking leave it and run and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
And they go, you can see them go, and I just jump the whole queue because the whole point is you just walk to the front.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it.
Yeah. Totally.
Except there's a couple of younger people in there, probably maybe my age, a bit older, that are like, oh yeah, just leave it there.
Yeah.
But the older people there don't understand. It's like, it's on the internet. I've done it. Like, I don't think that's right. It's like, just fucking look on your own website. It's there. Yeah. You know, and the problem is that it's this older... Things don't need to be complicated, but they're made complicated because there's a system that's in place that no one wants to dare fuck with.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we as well. See, I'm on the cusp of Gen X and Millennial. I'm like as old as you can get as a Millennial. So it's like, yeah, I think they won't let us do stuff.
That's why you're attacking the boomers and like being very. Okay, I'm with you. Which is probably why you didn't relate to this article as much as me and the other youngsters.
No, I did. No, because the thing is, it's all about errands. I'm like, I can do that. See, I'm on that cusp where it's like, no, I know how to do all that shit, and I do all that shit. But the fucking difficult thing is that it doesn't need to be this hard. And it's like I feel like I'm sitting like with my one hand in Gen X and the other hand in Millennial, going, listen, you Gen Xers, just fucking let the younger people do what they need to do, and stop being so fucking uptight about the future, because it's here, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And let's just get on with it. So I feel like I'm this little. you know, the middleman in between the two generations going, I understand this side and I understand this side. Why the fuck can't you get along, you morons?
Yeah, and that whole thing with the post office, like that concept.
Sorry.
We have click and collect here, which we use, which is you just collect it from the spar.
Yeah.
And I think there's click and drop with those as well. You can just take the parcel down and give it to them in the spar, and they'll scan it behind the counter.
Oh yeah,
but
you
it's
can do that.
Exactly the same bullshit problem. If I take it up to someone in my sort of age group, they go, I'm like, can I click and drop? Yeah, cool. Scan, beep, fuck it along the ground, and it's dealt with. You know, and I'm like, sick, can I pay for that fuel and get out of here? But I bring it to someone who in the generation up, and they're just like, what's this? And I'm like, click and drop. What is that? And I'm like, how the fuck do you not know? You work here. How can I know something about your job that you? And they're like, and then they go, hold on a second, Matthew, what's this click and drop? And you're like, fuck me tonight.
Oh my god!
Any chance you could get this thing done? And I think
it's the same with lots of stuff. You know, there are things that could be easy, but people are just so unwilling to change.
Yeah.
It's like why do we have
click
banks?
And collect at Tesco?
Like, why do we have a bank?
Well,
that's why I've moved. I've moved to like Starling and Monzo and all that shit because I fucking hate walking into a bank.
Yeah, I use a Monzo card as well. It's friggin' amazing.
Yeah. I gave up my Halifax account because I was like, A, they were ripping me off. B, they were charging me for some weird account, and then their interest bottomed out. This was like 3 years ago. I walked in there and I said to the lady, I'd like to cancel my account. And she said, why? And I said, and I was in my head, I'm like, well, you're fucking this is partially why I'm cancelling your account, because you're asking me why I'm cancelling my account, you know. And so we had to go through, I'm doing this. It's like, I hate you, basically. I was trying to say everything that was nice about the account. Like, I don't like this, is that. And she said, but you've had the account for 17 years. And I was like,
and? Guess what else about a dog for 17 years? And it's dead now.
Yeah. She was looking at me as if we were divorcing.
Oh, wow.
You know, we've been together 17 years, and you found some other slutty Monzo, and you're off.
You just found something else online.
And you've just gone off it. You just went onto the banking system. We went onto the grinder of banking, and that's it. You're off.
Yeah.
And she was like almost upset, and I was like, I've had to come in here. You've wasted 15 minutes of my fucking time trying to cancel an account. This is why I don't want to have a banking system like this. Yeah,
the whole bank system, and like this article talks about like the inability to tick off things from a list that are like really remedial tasks, real simple. And it's like, why can I not tick these things? A prime example for me, because I relate to this article, because I have a check on my fridge that's been there for 2 weeks. All I need to do is just go take it to the bank. There's two, but it's exactly like you said. It's a mixture of me being a millennial and not being able to deal with those tasks, because I'm like, I have so much stuff to do. I couldn't possibly manage to make. I've gone past the bank a few times. I'm like, I could have just done it at any moment in time here. But okay, maybe slightly different by the situation we're in. But still, even if it wasn't, I would still procrastinate. But also by the process being shit, because I've got a check. But I can't do it online. So Halifax, I'm with Halifax with most of our banking, and you can cash checks online if it's under £500.
Well, you take a photo of it.
You take a photo of it. It's great. It's a brilliant system, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It's like contactless being £30. It's like close, but you fucked it when you put a limit there. But I get the limit.
Ours has moved up to 45 now.
Yeah. But I mean, like normally, so. Yeah, I can't do it because it's over the threshold, and the problem is I then have to go to the bank, and then when I go to the bank, there's 3 options. I can use the inside check machine, I can go to a cashier, or the outside machine. But the amount of times I go to the outside machine, it goes, depositing checks is unavailable at this time. I'm like, fuck that. Why is it unavailable? It should always be, because you've told me I have to come to the bank, so you better be ready for me. So then I actually just, if I go down and the bank's open, I don't even bother with those stupid machines, because that shit always happens. So I just walk in up to the queue, right? Because I want to get that woman to fucking stamp that shit right now, put it in my bank, and come up and be like, or even and cash and stuff like that. I'll just walk straight in and say, and go into the queue, and then you have the person who is at the customer welcome bit, and they come up to you, excuse me, sir, can I help you with anything? And I'm like, just depositing a check. You know, you can do that through our machines. Yeah, but they don't fucking work. Let me show you how they work. I'm like, but they don't. All right, we've been through this, so just please. before I flip something upside down, could you just get out of the way?
If I can flip this cash machine, I'm gonna do it.
Flip this whole machine out the door. But I like banks, prime example, and it's all I do honestly believe. Like, I struggle with real day-to-day, like, simple shit, just like, you know, like the simplest things, just putting stuff away, like ironing clothes, you know, tasks that my generation would have, like my mom's generation would have done, you know. Like, my mom has this is madness, she's got her banking, but then she has a little red book, and it's a credit debit book, and every single transaction at the end of like a week, she'll go through every transaction, and she writes them down every day in the book, and then she cross-references that thing with her bank account, and I'm like, you're mad. You're mental, lady.
No,
but
you're not
that's
mad.
What she's...
You just don't have enough to do.
Well, dude, no, this is the thing. She's got fucking tons to do. The woman never stops. The woman, like, because she deals with it all. She takes it all on board, and she's able to deal with her job, her family, and all these tasks. Whereas, but it's because I think this article talks about it, where Gen X come from the generation where the job has an end. Like, the job comes to an end of the day, and then they carry on their life. Where we're part of the generation where we feel like we need to be working more. So I'm always saying to Pamela, I will in a minute. I have so much work to do, and I add things onto my list and make my life more difficult because I feel I should always be really, really busy, and I need to always be doing. And it says here, I've written, one of the things I wrote down is childhood optimization, which I thought was a great phrase. And I think that's because of our parents optimizing us as kids, basically saying to us, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you work hard enough. Here, look at all these things you can do. Now be good, be good, be good, be good, be good, be good, be good. And now we're at the point where we're like, fuck, if I'm not flat out every day, like, there's no way I could book that MOT. I can't even, I mean, I have flights to Canada in 2 weeks. Haven't cancelled them. Haven't cancelled them. Cancelled the Airbnb today because Pamela was like, have you cancelled those things? Oh, I haven't had a chance. Bullshit. You've had a chance. You procrastinated. You bloody millennial. So, but the article, I mean, that's skimming the surface. This article is really interesting. And if you have some time, which you do, go and have a listen. No, don't have a listen because it's nothing. There's no noise. You have to read it. You have to sit, and you'll probably, if you're a millennial,
we could do a bonus episode where Dylan reads it to you.
Yeah.
In the voice of Stephen Fry.
I couldn't do a Stephen Fry voice.
Well, you could do it in a Welsh accent.
Yeah.
In the voice of Rob Brydon.
Yeah, if you want me to read the whole article out to you in a Welsh accent,
comment below.
Stick the Wales flag
and
below, and I'll record a whole episode where I just read that entire episode out in a Welsh accent for you and upload it only to YouTube. So there you go. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting.
It is interesting. I think it's an interesting world because the generation below us, the millennials, I think it's Gen Y. Is it?
Gen X?
I think no, sorry, above us.
Above us.
There's Gen X, there's boomers, Gen X, millennials, us, and then there's the younger people. Like what your sister must be on borderline.
Well, where's Generation
Z?
Where's that? Or Z? Gen Z? Gen Z?
Oh, is it Gen? No, this is what I'm asking.
Gen Z. Oh, right, it is Generation Z. Yeah, they're the
us.
Just the younger
below
ones,
the millennials. Yeah. So what's interesting with them because the TikTokers. So those kids that are now like 19, 20, I think they're quite interesting because they're actually really hard. They're more like Gen X, I think.
Yeah.
Apparently they're very into working hard, not so much into what's it called? Like millennials are very self-absorbed.
Yes.
And
yes.
They shout. Basically, they love Twitter and they love look at me, look at me, look at me.
Well, that's because
apparently the generation below us are not so much like that.
Well, that's because, right, this article says, it starts, all right, with this simple sentence. Fuck, I'll completely mess it up. Lost the article, lost the bit that I wanted. But it basically talks...
Read it later.
Yeah, read it later. Or wait for 2 days and I'll do it in a Welsh accent. It literally...
Can't wait for that.
It literally does say that. It says that we're real hard workers, but we get called lazy because there's lots of normal shit that we don't get done. You know, like our whole generation struggle to save money, struggle to buy property. We get married later. This because we've been optimized as children. whereas the next generation aren't doing that. But we've also had to deal with things like the 2008 financial crisis, the burst of the dot-com bubble. So there was a lot of that shit that we've actually dealt with. This article highlights a bit of it, that we've actually dealt with a fuck ton of that nonsense. And actually our life's being, like, a lot of us have debt from student loan. I mean, I'm not in that category, but there's a lot of that stuff happening.
But you see, this is the whole thing, is because while the Gen X think they were doing a good thing by, giving kids everything they needed, everything they wanted, being encouraging, because, their parents never got what they got, so they just want to impose that upon us, which is, well, I think as a parent, everything you do is right and everything you do is wrong.
Yeah, totally. You can see, can't win. As a parent, you can go like that. I'm giving you such gold knowledge here, and I can see what you're going to do with it. You're going to fuck it all up.
Yeah. So if you look at that, we've had that, but then at the same time, they've not allowed us to flourish in the way that we should. Because why do you think we can't buy houses and we can't, and we're in trouble, we're in debt? And it's because their generation, who, let's bear in mind, went to university for free, the majority of them,
or
now
didn't
all of a sudden they're going, or didn't go because they didn't
still
need to.
got professional jobs.
Yeah, because they had the polytechnic things, or they could do like some decent kind of work experience, where you go, you become you leave school at 16, you do the mechanic thing, and then you end up running the shop kind of thing, whatever. So they had like lots of that, but then they've encouraged us to do this, but there's nothing left.
Exactly.
And then they won't go, right, actually let's develop some more so we can get more coders and more internet-based stuff, like what you guys are really good at, all the creative stuff, because they don't want to pay for the creative stuff, and there's no more jobs left.
Yeah.
So now these fuckers are like, well, you're really lazy. It's like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do?
100%.
You've taken everything. You won't move out of your house and let a new family move in because you're so obsessed with your 5-bedroom house in Ealing. Fuck's sake.
Fuck Ealing.
Sorry. Fuck. Whatever. In Surrey.
But you're right, though.
Because they want us to have everything, but they don't. Because now when you go and try and convince them of something or to do something else, they're like, oh, no, it's done this way. And it's like, well, how about we do this and it could be a lot more efficient?
Yeah.
And they don't like it in the same way because, for example, like we go up to the boomer generation again, it's like, we don't need banks anymore. We don't actually need them. We just need online stuff.
Yeah.
But old fucking granny wants to go into a bank because she likes speaking to a person.
Yeah.
Your mum wants to go and reconcile a little red book with the old Doris down at Barclays.
Yeah.
It's like you don't fucking need to.
Yeah.
Oh, but I can't use the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got a fucking job because you wasted it all.
Start by taking that
love.
plaster off your laptop camera, and then we can get this ball rolling. But you're right though, because like baby boomers, like that generation, they were post-war, weren't they? Coming out of the war, like World War II.
Yeah.
Is that right? And then,
well, it wasn't it wasn't the Battle of Hastings.
And then Gen X is after that. So like baby boomers dealt with that whole like rebuild of life after war kind of thing. Then Generation X were put in a system where it's like, hey, there's no war, and they didn't really have to deal with that kind of crisis or financial crisis. So they were very safe in how they played.
Two
stuff.
very good generations.
And they played stuff, and they built a lot of stuff up, and they started to build the industry that we now utilize a lot of. But in doing that, they were like, here, you've got no problems. Our parents had problems. We had to deal with their problems, and now look. I mean, I know that's just the way it's going to be, but it's an interesting chat because they then say to us about what you're saying there about laziness and about money, like we were all taught, prime example, like my dad's been a graphic designer for, I don't know, 100
years,
a million years, all right, 1 million years, all right, oldest designer on the planet. And he, apart from like art in school, he doesn't have like not professional, that's a lie. He doesn't have a qualification, right? So what's the qualification worth? Everything and nothing. My mom's been teachers in school. She's a classroom assistant, but she taught in South Africa, and it was all just because those opportunities were there when they came out of school, so they took them up. But then as more people took them up, suddenly it's like, right, we need qualifications here. So then we were given the whole idea of you can go and get a qualification, become a professional at this job, whatever, and make a career out of it. It'll be amazing. But because of all the pressure, we ended up building this whole thing up and stressing ourselves out. And it says this whole system where there's like, don't don't break the system, bend it kind of thing. But we were basically told nothing's going to be difficult for you guys. It'll be fucking easy. So just work your ass off, and be the best you can be. But they still live within their kind of limitations. And then we all came out of uni, but we all came out of uni with all these degrees. Everyone came out, and no one was doing like hard labor. Everyone was coming out with this like high pressured, stressful environment of learning and getting this career. We all came out, boom, here we all are. And then bang, .com popped, and then a few years later, the financial crisis. And then it was like, we're all fucked. We've all got these degrees, but no one can plant a fucking carrot.
Yeah, but do you know, like, generally whose jobs were safer?
Gen X.
In all of that? Yeah, Gen X and older. Because, and this is the problem we have, like, for example, at the BBC, if you are let's say a cameraman, like a young up-and-coming camera person, the sex doesn't matter at this point, it's very hard to get in on those things because they have lots of legacy camera people. Yeah. So they will go, well, we could get the new person in, but we just know this guy. And so then you have this whole thing of like, no one retires because, basically the pensioners, all the boomers are taking up all the pension money. So Gen Xers don't want to retire because they can't afford to, which means that there's no chance we'll ever get to retire, but there's no more jobs coming up. Yeah. And then you have all these new jobs like coding and everything, which a lot of young people are. Well, actually, they don't have enough coders. Like the three guys in my band, they all do like internet testing and development and that kind of stuff. They, work with IKEA and Lego and different people. And their employers, they can't find enough people to code. Wow. They get a shit ton of money as well a year. Like, obviously things are a bit difficult at the moment because of the virus and that kind of thing. But generally, you can pretty much work from anywhere, and you can make a lot of money if you're prepared to kind of just learn it for about 18 months and then get into it.
That's mad. Isn't
it? They there are so many jobs they can't find enough people to employ.
Yeah. And what you're saying there is like we end up, there's not enough jobs, and then we become a whole generation of lazy people. That's why we become the burnout generation, because we end up just fucking doing everything we can. And one interesting thing that I thought was really true in this article of 100% truth is
have you restarted your camera, by the way?
I have. Says it said in where was I with that? I totally forgot. Price. It said that by working hard, so we're a generation that don't quit. We don't quit our job because we were brought up that you don't do that.
We never had one.
Well, we never had a job, but the thing is, because of the way we were brought up, and then this whole crash and financial shit. When you got your job, we were all like, about 2 years ago, I said to someone, "Are we out of the recession? Did that end?" And someone was like, "Yeah, a few years back." And I was like, no one fucking said. We all shouted when it started, but no one was like, "A heads up, lads, we're not actually in a recession anymore." They're like, "Oh yeah, it just fizzled out." But because of that, we all counted ourselves lucky to have a job. Therefore, we dealt with shitter conditions, shitter pay, and no one quit our jobs. So we were, and how many, I don't know about you, but I've had this conversation with loads of people. I've said it to myself, and I've said it to other people. When people are like, "This is fucking bullshit, I'm not getting paid enough for, this isn't what we'd be getting paid if we were there," or whatever. And I was always like, you just got to work harder and show your worth, show them how valuable you are. And for me, that worked. Yeah. That did actually work. I always put in the work first, then put forward my proposal, and it always worked. But what we end up doing there is, by feeling like we're making ourselves more valuable, we're actually undervaluing what we do, because we end up doing a fuck ton more for a fuck ton less. And but
that's because we're in a system where the people that are deciding that you do that are safe. Yeah. In a way. That's a sweeping generalization, but that's how I feel it is generally. Yeah, we give sweeping generalizations of facts. Yeah, actual facts.
Yeah, and all of this is obviously just nonsense opinions from our heads based on an article that somebody spent time writing and we skimmed over. But
I read all the ads around it. I don't know.
I skimmed all of it, so I was like, now we're into money and numbers. No thanks, not for me. But I just think it's a pretty interesting thing. And like a prime example for me is, I have this conversation with my folks all the time. I used to do karate. All right. Karate.
I love the way that all these new things come up. It's like, I used to be a BMX pro. I used to surf. I now did karate. It's like, but next you'll be in the Gestapo as a spy or something.
Actually, with his mustache, the Mexican Gestapo.
He's in the cartel.
That's what it's called.
Oh, El Dinilo.
Yeah.
Dinino. Oh, God.
But
you're not from South Africa. You're from fucking Mexico
South
City,
America.
aren't you?
Yeah, that's how I know all that shit about like
South America, not South Africa. Yeah.
But like I used to do a bit of karate, right? So I was actually really quite good at karate when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I think
you were a karate kid.
Yes, I was actually. I was. Yeah. A lot of waxing
did you do the
on
crane?
and off. I never did the crane, no. But I did like I think I did like all the belts in like something stupid like 3 years when most people took like 6. I can't remember what the details were, right? Because I was a kid. But I was being conditioned by my parents, right? Because they fucking loved that shit. So karate and cricket, right? Those are two things I did as a youngster. And cricket, like I was really good at cricket, and I played like I honestly think had I stayed in South Africa and carried on playing cricket, I would at least have gone to under 21 South African maybe squad, or at least tried.
Oh, here we go
for
again.
It. All right?
Just more bullshit coming out.
No, legit cricket.
Pro biker, pro surfer,
I never said
pro cricket
biker.
Player.
Cricket, I was good at, right? And
Spy for the
karate, I was really
cartel.
good at. But my parents, they used to fucking make me do it. And they loved it. They were like, and if I didn't want to go to cricket practice, they were just like, they give me that look like, we're disappointed, son. And when I came over here...
Yeah, go on.
Go for it. What were you going to say?
I'm going to ruin your whole theory on the whole karate belt thing.
Why?
Because I started doing, what's it called? Mixed martial arts a few years back.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a pro, trust me. One of the reasons I left, why I got bored of it, was because... no, actually, the rules are fine. And I'd never been so fit and healthy, like, and I was stretchy and bendy. It was amazing. I love all the exercising. I'm not so keen on actually fighting people, but like the exercise side of it, I really enjoy. And then you're going through belts, and then the thing about it was that there were people.
You wanted his belt delivered. You had to pick it up. Fuck that.
Yeah. No, the thing was there were people in there that were like, I don't know, whatever color belt, like blue belt, brown belt, and I looked at them, and they. You know, within a few weeks of me being there, I was like, they're not actually much better than I am. Like, so yeah, they've been here a little bit longer, but they're not actually that much better at doing the moves, and they're still a bit shaky and stuff. Yeah, I'm on a fucking yellow belt, or red, or whatever the fuck it was.
Piss yellow.
Because you get a token red belt for the first week you've been there or something, after your white one. And so you got old Steven, with his brown belt, like, just still flapping about, not really knowing what he's doing. And after a while... I figured out that they were like, oh, so there's a new thing, a belt, a new, like, you can go up a level, but it's going to cost you this much. So in order to take the test, it costs you £20 and do this. So basically, if you just went there long enough, you could just buy the next belt.
Totally.
And I thought and that's what made me lose interest. It's like, you're not actually getting the belt because you're any fucking good. It's because you paid for it.
Yeah, but
I thought that was bullshit.
That is definitely a thing. I have no doubt that but
because I'd like to say
I got it
like,
through competition. Now, karate isn't contact, by the way. It's a non-contact sport. Technically, it's like, but I did it through competitive. It's basically dancing in a fucking white suit. And I did it for like 3 years, but I did it through competitions, and I was really quite good. And I was always being pushed to do these like competitions around the fucking. Anyway, I absolutely hated it every second of it. My parents made me go. I wanted to be sitting it was a Saturday morning. I wanted to watch TV and fuck around in the garden, and there I was putting on an oversized white suit that I felt like had been soaked in starch for a millennium. And I was
they're horrible, aren't they?
Making noises, around the room. I was like, I am not an extrovert. When I was a kid, I do not want to be doing this and screaming. But I was good at it, because they conditioned me. I'm not blaming them, because it taught me a lot. Same with cricket. Came to Northern Ireland. It fucking rains a lot, so cricket's a pain in the dick to play. Played it for years here. Still get phoned all the time, being, "Oh, would you love you to have you back?" And I'm like, guys, I haven't got time for that. I worked out after years of being put into these...
I can't even see my toes anymore.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
No, but I was put into loads of competitive sports and team sports, and I did that. That was my entire life. My parents loved it, and they encouraged me. And I was good at sports, so I was just overly encouraged. And then I realized as I got older, I fucking hate team sports, and I don't like doing competitive shit like that. I do solo stuff where it's just me against me, because I can always win, and it doesn't matter if I lose.
No fear of failure then.
No, it's not that. No, it's not that. Which is why, funnily enough, someone asked me to go karting recently, and I was like, no thanks. And they're like, why? I was like, I don't go kart. I got a very bad temper. Why not? Oh, just horrible temper. Just, I don't mind. I don't mind the competitive side of it. What I get annoyed with is, it's either we're being competitive and everyone better take this fucking seriously, or we're not competing. It's either we dick about or it's serious. I hate it when people go like, right, do you want to do the go? We'll see who wins the go-kart race. I'm like, all right, I'm down for it. And then they fuck around with you, or they grab the back of your go-kart, and then they laugh at you. And I'm like, no. Either we do this seriously. Lewis Hamilton's not climbing out of his car and fucking dragging someone else down the track laughing, is he? They're in their car racing seriously. If we're doing this, it's serious, or we're just fucking around. But there's no middle ground. And the thing with those sports there's always a middle ground. You know, let's do a race on the beach, but we go do it. Like, that's why I don't play board games. You know, Pamela wants to play Monopoly, steals a bit of money, has a bit of a laugh. Everyone's like, no thanks, not for me. Serious
that
or nothing.
Like I do like go-karting, but I got put off once. It's one of my friend's 30th or something. We went go-karting, but we had to do it in pairs. So we were all couples there. And so we had what you do, like 5 laps, and then the other person does 5 laps. So it was like a Le Mans type thing where you swap over driver. Yasmin was my other half, and my it was like Granny got in the car. Yeah, Granny got in the car and plodded round. I caned it round the first 5 laps. I was like, we're gonna fucking win this. Then I hand it over to her. And she might as well have gone around in reverse, bless her. Yeah. Not a very good driver, Yasmin. But also, and at that point, because I was like, I was so competitive going, we're going to fucking win this. We're going to hammer everyone. Yeah. The moment she got in the car and just everyone went past her, I was like, and now it turns into a joke because I can't take this seriously
exactly.
Like,
and she goes, I'm don't done. Take it so seriously, right? It's just a laugh. You're like, it isn't, actually. It was a very serious
until you got in the
car race.
And now I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, you've made... See, my whole family, this has gone on a bit, but here, sure. My whole family wind me up. We have this internal joke called Who Said Crab? All right? They're going to fucking love this if they listen to it. Because years ago, during a Christmas night, we were doing that game. Do you know that game? You write a word and put it on your head. All right? And then you have to guess what you are. I absolutely hate things like this. Right? Everyone guess what you are, and you have to be, I don't know. Am I a human? No. Am I an animal? No. Do I give a fuck? No. Can I go and get a beer? That's me, right? I get so bored. Everyone loves it. Oh, I'm not... Okay, so I'm not an animal. I'm not a human. Am I a building? Yes. Okay. Am I in Northern Ireland? You know, and people love that shit. I get annoyed. So I had this thing. I can't remember the exact ins and outs of what it was, but someone wrote crab. And I was like... Am I shellfish? I'd got to the point, and everyone was like, no. And then I was like, all right. So then I went off on this. Anyway, I ran out of guesses, and then they all went, took it off, crab. And I was like, shellfish, fuckers. Oh, crab's a crustacean. And I'm like, but it actually does fall within the shellfish bracket. So and they were like, no, I Googled it, right? So I went and Googled it, and then came back to them with all this proof. No one gave a fuck at this point. They were all laughing, and they were like, Dylan, it's a crustacean. And I was like, well, but the crustacean does fall within the shellfish. And they were like, no, it fucking doesn't. Yes, but part of my guess was, is it a shellfish? And they went, no. So I went, okay, is it a fucking octopus? And they were like, no. Is it a jellyfish? No. You're out of guesses. If they'd said, is it a shellfish? Yes, kind of. I got, okay, lobster. No, crab. Yeah, you win. Thanks very much. Where's my fucking prize? But because it went that way, I got really angry and grumpy and threw my hands up. Fuck this game. So then everyone was going, oh, Mr. Grumpy Pants. And then that just infuriates me. And then I just go on
you're Mr. Krabs now.
No. Everyone just says, do you want to play Who Says Crab? That's what the fucking game is called.
Is that the name of the game
and now? Everyone's like, people buy each other mugs with crabs on it now. And it's like this fucking... this inside joke where we all do it to each other, but collectively we're all fucking winding Dylan up. And I just sit there. I
love that.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm going to take all your crabs, all right, and shove them up your jam roll. So, yeah, I'm just... Oh, dude, that's...
So, if you ever see us...
being a millennial.
Yes. So, if you ever see Dylan the Millennial, please just give him a crab mug, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And I think this has to be it now. I think we just got to call it there. We are pushing 50 minutes right now.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
You've burnt me out, Millennial.
It's a hump day special, though. Maybe the hump day one should just be longer.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. That's
We're just
the rule
making
now.
this shit up as
on
we go.
Wednesdays. They're gonna be closer to an hour.
Brutal.
Rest of the week will be half an hour. We'll call it a hump day special. You know, you've had a long. My fucking place is still falling apart.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, that's
Cool.
us. Do leave comments. Give us a rating on something. I don't know, iTunes.
Yeah, please leave say Wales or leave a Welsh flag if you want Dylan to read out the whole article in the style of Rob Brydon. I really want him to do that, so please, someone, for the love of fuck, put a Welsh flag below.
Hold on. How many do we need, though, for this to actually happen? Like, we've
two.
No, fuck that. No,
because I'm going to put one and then Yasmin will put one.
It's got to be outside of you, Yasmin, Pamela,
5.
and my parents. My parents will be 5. We need 10. It's a long article, dude. It took me 20 minutes to read.
Yeah, but that's because you're a millennial and you can't concentrate.
It's because, halfway through I was like, oh, thanks.
I can't be bothered with this. I'm burnt out.
10.
My eyes are bleeding.
10 Welsh flags.
10. Yeah, or
dragons,
whales.
or actual whales. Yeah.
Because someone might write this on Spotify, or can you? Oh, you know what? I'm fucking bored of listening to my own voice. We'll see you tomorrow.